I'm sorry. Good evening. The 756th meeting of the City of Laurel Historic District Commission will come to order. If you wish to be heard at this meeting and are not an applicant, please sign the speaker list provided on the table in front of the room. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff to the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the city and are hereby made a part of each and every application heard today. The guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made a part of each and every application. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Madam Secretary, will you call the roll?
Chairwoman Blitz.
Here.
Mr. McSaney.
Here.
Councilman Les. Mr. Clacoon.
Here.
Mr. DiLorenzo.
Here.
Mr. Dyer.
Here.
Mr. Hayes.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. The first order of business is the approval of minutes for the June 19th, 2012 meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to those minutes?
I guess I have two. One on HDC 016-2012. We're toward the end, just before it says the motion I made. It's bringing a sample of actual paint color, but I don't specifically remember saying it had to be painted on a wood surface.
Okay.
I don't
Didn't
remember,
think you did.
I'm not quite sure where that came from, but I see we have it on a wood surface,
It
so
looks very nice.
whether my memory fails me or not, or whichever, we are covered by the applicant, so. And also on the HDC 070-2012, it says on a motion by Councilman Les and seconded by Mr. Clacoon, those are the two commissioners that were absent.
Ooh,
I'll change it.
sheds on the tips. Anybody else? Can I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I move we approve the minutes as corrected.
Second that?
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes of the July 17, 2012 meeting as corrected, made by Mr. McSaney, seconded by Mr. DeLorenzo. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. McSaney.
Yes.
Mr. DiLorenzo.
Yes.
Mr. Clacoon.
Abstain, I was absent.
Mr. Dyer.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Agenda item 3 is HDC 0682012 for 606 Prince George Street. You wanna come have a seat? You're Joanne Blair. Nice to see you. Just for the record.
Raise your hand.
Time ago.
And you're going to paint the exterior of your house and trim?
Yes,
You brought in a lovely example.
East Lake Gold,
They're very nice.
classical white, it's kind of a creamy color.
Questions, comments?
Hand scraping.
Hand
Put a
scraping?
power washer on it, but I wasn't satisfied. Nothing like a good
Right.
tedious.
Do it the right way.
Yeah,
Same.
The color, the actual color is much better than the,
yeah, it didn't translate on the
Representation.
copier at
they
all.
usually don't.
Yeah, yeah. So the primer has about 2/3 of the formula in it, and it's going to take, you know, the primer and probably 2 coats of finish. One isn't gonna do it to my satisfaction, so.
Yes, sir.
How long ago did you paint your house?
How long ago did I paint?
It doesn't seem to me like it was that long. Time flies.
Yeah, it really does.
I think that was probably before I even had the shop, right? So
Yeah.
that might have been over
really?
10 years.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's been a
I think
good
so.
long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, for
But what
some-
you're thinking of, Mr. McSaney, I think you came before the commission and you were going to paint it a blue at one time, and I don't think you
Yeah,
did that.
yeah,
That's what you're thinking,
yeah.
that they didn't paint it then.
I didn't have the money as it turned out, some
You
stuff
know
came
what I'm
up.
thinking, huh?
Is that what you're thinking?
I don't think we're married, are we?
But that was only about, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, yeah,
Now they're-
Couldn't
And we
afford it,
approved the color, but they didn't paint.
but I didn't paint.
Well, that's great information, but I wasn't thinking about that. I just
He'll
thought I
never
remember
admit to
being,
it.
I remember seeing it being painted, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, you know, a gallon of that exterior paint's like $55.
It is.
Not
It's
a
a
cheap
good
deal to
kind.
paint your house anymore.
What's classical white?
Classical white is that creamy color. Do you have a couple sticks there in front of you?
I did. Well, I see that, but was it a semi-gloss, gloss, flat?
Yeah, they're both gloss.
No. But
Yeah, gloss, you know, it takes a lot of sun on that west side, and, you know, if I go with a semi-gloss, it just wears right down to it loses its sheen pretty quickly. So, start with a gloss, and then it'll age and be a little less shiny.
And the classic white is going to be everywhere where the white is currently in this picture?
Yeah, I believe so. Basically, the windows, you know, the porch posts, the little bit of cha-cha there. That's about it.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve HDC 068, 2012. as
Second.
presented.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve HDC 0682012 as presented, made by Mr. McSeany and seconded by Mr. Hayes. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. McSeany?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon?
yeah,
Mr. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you all.
so
You're welcome.
much. Agenda item 4 is HGC 0722012 for 933 Montgomery Street. Hello. You are Kelly Thurman? Okay. And these are your windows? Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay, you want to tell us a little bit about your project and we'll...
Well, in the mid-'80s, most of the windows in the house were replaced with Anderson vinyl clad unit, and 5 original historic windows remain. And so we're going to do a couple of different things. On 5, let's say, on 8 of the windows from 1980s, we're going to replace the sashes only. You can convert those units from a double-hung window that does not tilt. You can convert them to a tilting window. So Anderson makes a conversion kit that you can do that, you know, easily just by replacing the jam liners and the sashes. 5 of those windows weren't put in very well, and there's rot. And so in those locations, we're going to tear out the entire window, put in a new window that will look identical, except it will be a tilting window, and we're going to trim it with the exact same trim that's on the house now, which is basically a 1x4 flat trim. And then on the first window, where there's 5 historic windows, so, you know, original to the home, we're going to replace it with something like this, which is an insert window, which is custom made to be inserted into the existing opening. And the reason we chose this window is because this offers us a simulated divided light option, which is a grill on the exterior of the home, a grill between the glass, and a grill on the interior of the home. And it's also available in the wide grill that I just handed you. And so if you look on those old historic windows, there's a vertical grill running straight down, and that will mimic that quite nicely and will make the window look the same as it looks now.
so it's not gonna be that style of window, as far as
It will be
4
that.
over 1?
No, it'll be
2 over 2?
2 over 2, exactly. Yeah. It'll match exactly what's on the house now.
I'm sorry, I can't picture 933. Where is 930?
Corner,
I think it's around the corner, isn't it?
Right,
Yeah,
It's on the corner?
house.
the
Yeah.
corner of Sandy.
Old Sandy Spring.
Yeah.
And,
catty
Okay.
corner
Right.
from where Fife's used to be.
Oh, it's where, oh, it's,
you don't recognize
no,
it?
it's on, it's
It's
on.
it's on Montgomery, it's right there.
Montgomery.
Yeah, right in the corner there.
Right, you don't recognize it?
Oh,
It's
I'm
right
sorry.
where we
Oh, I
turn
got
left.
you, I got you, okay,
Right where
That's where the three-way stop is.
right.
we- Right.
10th Street, Montgomery Street.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm sorry, I lost my bearing. Is this a contributing house or a non-contributing house? Residence, do you remember? I don't think it's in here. You can't look it up. Any idea how old this house is? But the Anderson windows you have in now, what did you say, 5 or 6 of them have failed?
There's, let's see, there's 13 Anderson windows in the house that have been replaced in the, like
Okay.
the
In
mid-80s.
the mid-'80s, okay.
Yeah.
And you said that of the original windows, or of those original ones,
Of the
some
original
of them-
Anderson,
pardon me, yeah, original Anderson ones, so many of them have rotted.
some of them have leaks, and rain has gotten behind it, so they need to be torn out completely.
Yeah, got you, okay. Well, I'm sure that house is more than, I mean, those windows were put in the mid-'80s, so that's like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And that house is probably more than 80 years old, probably 100 years old.
Yeah, the original windows are clearly that old.
Yeah.
The 5,
And what kind of shape are they in?
pretty bad. You know, they've been painted shut, screwed shut. They're not very, you know, they're not in very good shape, single pane glass.
Mhm.
They don't look like they've been opened in, 10, 15 years, but they're, yeah, not very good condition.
I think there was a period where the house was not maintained very well.
Yeah, I think, I don't think the couple that owns the house now, I don't think they've been there very long. I think they've only been there a couple of years, and they're trying to, fix it up a little bit.
I think at one time it was a group home, wasn't it?
Like a
I think it was,
duplex.
I think it was some sort of a duplex or group home, I believe.
I
at
think
one
it
point.
was divided into a duplex at one time. Any other questions or comments?
I'm
Chair, I move
in favor
approval.
of saving original windows if we can.
That being
I
said,
move approval of HDC 0722012 as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve HGC 0722012, made by Mr. Dyer and seconded by Mr. Clicklune. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon?
Yes.
Mr. McSeany?
No?
Mr. Di Lorenzo?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming in, for bringing your examples.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Agenda item 5 is HGC 0732012 for 207 4th Street. Hello. You're Ken Lyons?
Ken Lyons, yes.
Nice to see you. We're going to put in a couple of signs.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the one sign over the door is, I want to say 15 years old or so, and it's getting kind of faded out and doesn't look very good, so I'd like to replace that one with the new one that is designed by Nationwide's corporate office, and it's the same size and similar to the same lettering and everything. So I'd like to first replace the one that's currently over the door with a new one. And then the second part would be install a vinyl lettering sign in the big picture window.
Maybe white and blue.
The colors, yes, uh-huh. Okay, for some reason on the photo that was submitted, the white lettering didn't come
Didn't show
through on
through.
the item, but you can see on the side where it shows Nationwide Insurance, that would be in white lettering.
Okay, so that would center it more on the window
Yes.
than it looks. Okay.
And it's gonna be pretty close to scale.
Oh, yes, sir, yeah.
What's copied on the window now.
On the window, yes, but the sign over the door, for some reason, that, on the picture, I don't know if you have this picture, it looks bigger than it actually is. That really doesn't look to scale because it kind of dwarfs the front of the building, but it's the same size as sign. It's currently
Oh, yeah, right.
over the door. That looks like it's real big, but it's not.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So it's exactly that same size?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Right, the final picture would be more
right.
Right,
representative
right,
of how
yeah,
it
it's that,
looks.
yes, ma'am, that's that same size, yes.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Madam Chairman, I move we approve HDC 073, 2012 as presented.
And I'll second that.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve HDC 073212 made by Mr. Mazzini and seconded by Mr. Clicklane. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. McSini?
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon? Mr. Di Lorenzo?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Take care.
My goodness. Okay. Agenda item 6 is HDC 0692012 for 904 Montgomery Street. How are you? And your name is Cecil Dianoff. Nice to meet you. And you want to replace some windows?
Yeah, we had a fire 2 months ago. All 3 of the windows were damaged beyond repair. I was trying to change the rest of them because they're all single pane windows. They're aluminum. And there's some vinyl that holds these things, and I know there's something I'm missing.
Oh,
Frame replacement parts are possible. The frame that holds it in, just a little it looks like a storm window. And it's been times when the wind has actually hit them in the back of the house. There's no way of securing them. That's changing the whole framework itself, which there's no, I mean, I haven't even had to post the company that made this window.
Is that the window or is that the storm window?
No, this is the window.
that's the actual
That's
window.
what's been
So
in
the
it.
original windows were replaced a long time ago? Okay. Yeah, wow.
So are you gonna change the frame that's in? Or?
Okay, that window is turned sideways though. When it's in the house, it's,
Yeah.
No, yeah, it goes like this.
the other, yeah, one way or the other, I'm not sure which.
Either
And
way.
it's like up and down.
Yeah, okay, got you.
Be careful. I'm afraid it's going to break on you. And you want to replace all the windows now?
Yes, because I mean, it's a good time.
While
and
you're
it'll
doing
match the front of the house. Also, there's no mechanism to make these windows don't stay up.
Right.
They're not gonna stay up.
And you're gonna replace them, because these, I don't even know what to call that. a
Yeah, some
15.
vinyl,
You're gonna
looks
have
the
a,
same size.
but is it gonna be, 2 windows, like you can pull them
Right.
up?
Well, so is this. I mean, this was 2, but one is one size.
Yes,
That was
that's
two
not even in.
This is just one part of it.
That's one, that's,
What's it,
One,
4 over
two.
6?
it's either 4 over, it's either 5 over 6 or 6 over, no, 6 over 7. one is, that one's 7, and the other one is 6.
No, there's pieces missing.
Oh, 9.
Yeah.
2, 4,
6 over 9. The other part is small, right?
Yes,
And so you're gonna do a 6 over 6?
I was trying to do that, yes, it's more economical and these are,
Oh, they're all gonna be 6.
And you're gonna keep the same size frame
correct.
that's on the building?
Do you happen to know what, do you have any old pictures of the house? Originally, what the original configuration of the windows were?
I bought it in 1999.
Okay, so you haven't seen any pictures before then? Sonny, do we have any pictures of this house?
The only picture I have was what I put
Okay.
in there.
What brand window are you gonna replace it with?
It is an Anderson,
It will be an Anderson, and it will be vinyl
vinyl.
and wood? Or,
The frame inside of the house, the whole window itself is vinyl, but the frame on the inside, since the windows are like 3 inches, so you have to extend the frame.
is that the style of the window that you have there?
Oh, yeah, I thought you had a copy, yes.
Yeah, you get
We have this copy, Ron.
it's in your,
Oh, we do?
it's in your last
I'm
page of
sorry.
the
I
application.
apologize.
Yeah.
Is that what he said? This is American.
Are you gonna do the work yourself?
Yes.
I've never seen where you could do this.
That's just a sheet torn from their brochure, so probably
So
covered.
it doesn't say if it's vinyl on both sides or wood?
Vinyl and wood.
And you're just doing the 4 in the front, right?
He's doing
No,
all
no,
of
he's
them.
doing all of them now.
All of them.
All around.
Yeah, you gotta get a piece here, Craig.
So a total of 11, is that?
Um,
4 on the front, 3 on the side, 4 on the back?
Yes.
Yeah, 11.
And you're gonna leave that, Cornish work over top of the windows on the side of the house?
The finish, you mean like?
Is a little stylistic cornice over
A
top of
little
there?
decorative item.
There
over
are like
the
3 of
window.
those on the windows that we can see on the picture, on the side view. See over
Yeah,
top
I
of those
disturbed that.
windows?
I thought it was capped, actually. I thought when they replaced this windows, these are like replacements, so they just capped it.
No, that's usually an architectural thing. That's probably there originally.
Eyebrow.
Yeah, like an
Yeah.
eyebrow.
That's a good
what
definition of it. So I mean, I don't think that it doesn't encroach into the,
Right.
into the frame of the window, so there would be no reason to remove it.
Right.
And you really don't want to do that.
There are no windows on the other side.
Sorry?
No windows on the other side.
More windows?
Are there any windows on the other side?
Between the two buildings?
Besides, there's no windows.
Next to Double Dipper, nothing on there.
There's no windows.
No windows over there.
Madam Chairperson, you're gonna replace the front siding to match what's on the side now, correct?
No, the side, all the windows are the same.
All
No, no, I'm talking about the siding.
Oh, the siding, yes, yes.
Replace the
because-
front siding to match what's on the side.
Correct,
And are you gonna put the shutters back up?
yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we accept HDC 069-2012 as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve HGC 0692012, made by Mr. Hayes and seconded by Councilman Les. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Councilman Les?
Yes.
Mr. McSeany?
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon?
Yes.
Mr. Di Lorenzo?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you very much. Good luck with your project.
Be careful with that window. Agenda item 7, our tax credit request for 1110 Montgomery Street. Restoring gutters, cellar door, and house painting. Any questions or comments on that?
It's been through the normal process.
All of these,
Yes.
Move, we approve them.
I'll second it.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve the tax credit for 1110 Montgomery Street, made by Mr. McSeany and seconded by Mr. Dyer. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. McSeany?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Councilman Les? Mr. Cocoon?
Yes.
Mr. Di Lorenzo?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Okay. Then we have a couple staff approvals. Any questions or comments on those? Everybody's good? Any new business? Yes, sir, Mr. McSeany.
Madam Chairman, we had it closed in our package after this meeting, a text amendment to ordinance 1744 that I guess changes, does it change our guidelines? What does it change? Is it our guidelines or is it our, Pardon?
Meeting. Well, our meeting, so is that our procedures?
oh, I don't know, yeah, whatever. It's part of our regulations. It currently says we have to have 2 meetings a month, and this changes it to say that we will have 1 meeting a month. I asked about this at a city council meeting the other day, and when I didn't know what it was about, and when I inquired, I was told that it was changing our meetings from twice a month to once a month, but with the proviso that if the chairman requested, we could have a second meeting.
That was my understanding, too.
That's not in this text right here.
I know.
It requires us to have 1 meeting a month,
I
okay?
understand that.
But it's like any other, meeting, whether it's council meeting or commission or planning commission. With notice, you can actually have more meetings,
Okay,
okay?
so,
That doesn't have to be,
Okay.
If I ask Bob Manzi, I'm sure he's gonna tell me it doesn't have to be explicitly stated.
okay, all right.
Okay, but again, the planning commission, board of appeals, but it's just require, but I think that the idea was, in looking at the number of meetings we've had on a monthly basis, that this says we have to have 1 meeting a month. Now,
Right.
that doesn't mean
Okay,
that we couldn't have a meeting every week.
okay.
But again, I think No, I'm just, and again, when I asked Bob about it. What, a meeting a week?
Take it easy.
Well, there's been times when.
Semi-meeting.
Meeting every other day. And,
Monday and Friday.
Marty was here for that, was technically. Right, Marty? Anyway, but again, I think that that does not preclude any chairman
Okay,
from calling an additional meeting, but we have to give notice.
okay.
That's the important thing, because we have to let the public know we're gonna have. the meeting.
How far in advance any idea how far in advance we have to give notice?
Sonny can check with Kim.
It can be as little as 24 hours, depending upon the situation.
Okay,
Yeah, typically what we do is we make sure it gets on the cable and it goes on the breadboard. If I remember correctly, that's the minimum requirement.
okay.
In an emergency, you can have a meeting without notification, you just have to file.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
with
Okay, I'm not speaking about emergencies. Okay,
Again, I think we're all right there, Jim.
okay, that's fine. That's, I don't have any problem. I would like to suggest, though, that, you know, because among other things, we're here to make it easy for homeowners to get approval of things, and, you know, Sonny, I think, you know, you're probably the best person to make a judgment, but if somebody comes in and is, for whatever reason, you know, can't wait for a month, which it could be at least, it could be more than a month, I suppose. Because if they came in day before yesterday, you couldn't have it ready for today.
Right.
So it would be, you know, it would be 4 to 5 weeks at least. If they can't do it, I would like to ask that you notify the chairman, and even if we have to come in for one application, I think we owe it to homeowners to not make them wait a month to get approval of a project, because I think it will discourage people from applying. But, oh, I have to wait a month, I'm just gonna do it. So I'd like,
Or if things start piling up, you know.
Yeah, either
If
one.
the economy turns around and we start getting a lot of applications for improvements and changes, then
Yeah.
so we don't want to have a 24-item agenda or anything like that once a month.
We do that now. I had somebody come in today, actually, the Quill property, and he's proposing colors and whatever for the outside. And, of course, he's in a hurry. I said, you're not gonna get it scraped down in a month, so I think you got plenty of time, because there's gonna be a lot of scraping on that piece of property. And he agreed. I mean, he agreed.
can I interject? I'm not finished my thing
go
on this,
right ahead.
but I want to talk about the Quill property, because I went to the post office the other day, and I don't know how many people here know Wayne in the post office. You know Wayne?
I'm sure.
I know Wayne, he's a tall, thin guy, and he's been dabbling in real estate for years and years. And so he went to visit the Quill property the other day when they were working on it and shoveling it out. And he said he'd been in a little while, and he looked around and everything, talked to the guys, and then he was out on the front porch. And then he heard a big commotion, and they were yelling and screaming, and then they started laughing. He stuck his head back in to see what was going on, and they'd ripped some plaster off a wall, and 5 raccoons exited the building.
Whoa.
It's scary.
It was,
No
I
wonder
could,
there was
I
a
could tell you some other things about it, but it's really disgusting.
I
It's-
went down, too.
You've
It
been
really
down there?
is.
Yeah, I mean, more than you can imagine. The raccoons have been living in there for years.
The smell is
Yeah,
awful.
horrendous.
Fifth Street or Prince George?
Prince George, right?
Prince George, what did I say?
No, he didn't say anything, but.
I was just wondering what house.
Oh, yeah, the one on Prince George.
As an aside, I know Sonny and the staff have been down there, they were told to save all the windows, because actually the window sashes were not in bad shape. Because
Oh.
they covered them up with plywood 40 years ago.
Mm.
So,
Basically,
my,
anything that's wood inside of there,
the stuff inside,
get the stench out of it.
yeah, well, but the sashes themselves weren't in bad shape. The other thing is, according to Dave, Marty, I assume this is correct, they're gonna have to sprinkle the house, because if they're doing major renovation on it.
Sprinkle.
You know, I wish him luck. See, that isn't all that's been living in that house.
No, it's not.
Raccoons, squirrels,
I mean, cat urine has a
Yes.
distinct odor, and trust me when I tell you,
an awful lot of feral cats in the neighborhood.
I walked out of there, it was home to the
Wonder
shower.
where they're going to go.
And I visited probably a week or a little more than a week ago, and I cannot get the smell out. I mean, I can smell it now.
Oh,
It is bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Well, you all convinced me not to go by there, I guess.
I wish I hadn't.
Anyway, back to the point at issue. I've said what I've said. I would like at least to know whether or not the other members of the commission agree with what I've said or not, about if somebody is in need of an approval, that we go ahead and meet.
I certainly agree, you know.
All right,
I
so
think
currently
Yeah,
we're
so do
going
I.
to switch
Extremely
to one
important.
meeting?
Yes.
And what week is that going to be?
Well, let me suggest this. If there's a requirement for a special meeting, my thought is that's up to the chairman and the vice chairman, and all I need to do is make sure they get a quorum together.
Right.
Give the proper notice. If it's not an emergency, then you put it on the site, the city site, and make sure it gets up on the breadboard special meeting. And whether it's the second week after the meeting we hold, I assume that the meeting we're gonna hold is gonna be the first meeting of the month, is that correct?
Well, that again, if it doesn't specify, it's nice to have the flexibility, because then you can work with the citizens to pick either the first, and you have one person's gonna be 3 more days bringing in their packet of information, then you say, okay, I can make that on the 3rd Tuesday, because these other 2 don't care. So it's kind of nice to have the option of having it the 1st Tuesday or the 3rd Tuesday, because you can work with the citizens better that way. Whatever makes sense, whichever week makes sense to have it for them.
As long as we balance out the building staffing with Parks and Recreation. I mean, the emphasis on this was going through our budget process. We conducted an extensive review of overtime.
Okay.
And one of the things that hit us in this building was the overtime or not necessarily overtime, but the time for the security staffing for this building at night. We decided that we would go ahead where we could, eliminate the bi-monthly meetings of this body, based on demand.
Okay.
So that we could eliminate staff time in this building. So as long as whatever meeting night we suggest works with Parks and Rec staffing, then.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec provides the security staff for this building.
Oh.
And notice, Marty.
And the notice, I mean.
Yeah.
So we have to come up with some kind of,
Yeah,
I don't wanna call it a concrete schedule, but
yeah.
a somewhat firm
Well, the
schedule
one-
Yeah.
so that.
As I said, the one meeting has to be, the one, I agree with what you said, Sonny, but I think that from the administration's perspective, they need to firm up something on a regular basis every month.
Yeah, I would, my comment on that is I don't think I would be in favor of switching back and forth from 1st to 3rd, because to the extent that you do that, you expose yourself to putting 6 weeks between a meeting.
Well, we actually have done that for the last 5 years.
Excuse me?
We've had 1 meeting a month.
Yeah?
We're going on almost 5 years.
5 years?
No.
No, that's not,
I can give you the dates of the meetings.
that's mind-boggling.
I'll give you the exact dates of the meetings, which my point is,
time,
it
too.
has worked for our citizens,
Yeah,
and so far it has worked for us, and hopefully for the city, because nobody seems to be disgruntled with it, so. And it's just so happened because of the economy and people not coming in for a while, it's been easy to not put two agenda items and 1 agenda item. It's easier to pick a date and then have them come in. It's been either the first or 3rd Tuesday of the month for the last, I know, 4 years. I think going on 5 years.
Scheduled 2, but usually canceled 1.
Right.
Let me, Madam Chairman, if I could.
Please.
My suggestion is that we go ahead and, whether it's the 1st or the 3rd, we pick one and see how that works for a period of time. I would suggest that probably the 3rd.
We've been
Tuesday.
doing the 3rd one for a few months
we've
now.
been- Yeah, the 3rd Tuesday, because then people come in around the 1st of the month and say, well, hold on, you got a few days left here, but you gotta have your stuff in on such and such date so that Sonny's got enough time to get the package ready. But again, you pick either one, but I'm just gonna suggest the 3rd one to start.
The problem is, when you get around the holidays, then you're 6
Right.
weeks out sometimes, 2 months out,
Well,
but,
let's
that's
all
fine with
celebrate-
me.
Let's all celebrate Christmas.
okay.
But
fine
if
with
need
me.
be, we can change that, and you would let me know,
Okay.
and,
Maybe that's the
Can
one
be
time
changed.
during the year where you actually have it the 1st
right,
Tuesday.
I
But
mean, if you
again,
get to 10 items,
right.
yeah, And
we need
again,
to
it's, I
schedule
think
something.
we need to make sure that it's coordinated with Parks and Rec and we'll give them proper notice.
I send them the agenda
This has been
and the
working.
meeting notice,
Yeah.
so.
That's been working.
My calendar is certainly far from perfect, but I just went back, just tap, 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 and it happened to be in September of 2009, and my calendar says we had 2 meetings. That doesn't mean we did, but I generally take them off if we don't have them. But anyway, yeah, I agree with Mr. Les. I'd rather try to have them on the same time. If there's a reason to move it, we can move it.
Right.
All right, we're on for
That
the
works.
third Tuesday of the month.
Excuse me? Third Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to ask one other
Okay.
favor of Sonny, since we're doing this. Because some of us are old, and we don't have memories as good as they used to be. I wonder, could you email us the minutes within a week or so after a meeting, rather than our getting them a month later? And we say, what was that? I don't remember anything about, because we usually get it with the package.
Oh, can I email the minutes?
You know,
Not
within
in the
a week or
package,
so.
just email them to
Within-
you
Right,
when I
later,
finish
Within a
them.
like a
week or
week
so.
later. That's a
Absolutely.
great idea, actually.
The minutes are actually out on the webpage too.
Oh, are they? How soon?
Wow. The minutes are on the webpage. I just recently, my home page on my computer is Yahoo, and how I found it, I don't know. You can put certain things on your webpage, and somehow I figured out how to put all the agendas of various bodies of the city on my webpage.
The whole agenda?
The agendas. They're not always up and current or anything, but at least some of them are there. It's amazing.
Sonny, the minutes, once they're approved, are on the website, or?
Oh,
Like when I go in tomorrow, I will give these to someone to put on the web.
Oh, okay, see, that's different.
So is
oh,
it,
yeah, that's a month
Not the
later.
minutes, right,
Not
Oh.
tonight's minutes, but the minutes we just approved.
the minutes we just approved.
Okay, so that doesn't know, yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's,
So, yeah, if you would email them to us, as soon as they're drafted. Does Laurie see them before we see them?
no.
Okay, so just send them to everybody.
yeah, and just mark it as a draft.
Yeah.
Maybe we remember. Any other new business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait, excuse me, one other
one
question,
more
I'm sorry.
thing? Okay.
I didn't want to press the staff. In the staff reports, I know for a while, we used to have a comment, I think it was at my own request, it sounds like me anyway, asking you to put in the staff report whether the property is a contributing property or non-contributing property. If you go back to do that, that would be, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Motion to
You're
adjourn?
bad.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.